Hi, my name is Zane Leslie, and I am here to present the Return to the Sound for my Muscle Final project, which is going to cover the return of the SuperSonics to the Seattle area. SuperSonics were one of the most beloved NBA franchises before being relocated from Seattle to Oklahoma City in 2008. A void has been left in Seattle that other franchises have tried to fill, but the city yearns for the return of the team that put them on the map back in 1979 with their first professional championship. In the years since, the city has coped with their loss by keeping the Sonics brands alive. Shirts, jerseys, jackets, hats, and flags are still seen all around the greater Seattle area. In 2028, though, the SuperSonics will be making their return to Seattle Center due to the NBA expansion. The city of Seattle has cried out for its basketball team, and the world finally listened. The Return of the Sound seeks to use the nostalgia of the Sonics and turn it into a high-energy and emotional campaign. The Sonics look to return to the sound, and in this grunge relaunch of the classic team, we look to aim for a launch that bridges the gap from the Sonics of old into a sustainable and community-focused future that brings both new and legacy fans alike under one roof. Our target market, we obviously look to aim at the legacy fans that were there when the team got taken from us in 2008, and we also want to bring in these new age of fans that hasn't had a basketball team to root for in Seattle other than the college teams. We want to focus on the age ranges from 18 to 30 heavily in order to drive up our social media presence. Since this age range is heavily involved in social media, we can center our marketing campaign on the likes of Instagram, X, and TikTok to gain the attention of the short form media users. We also want to target the returning and older generation of fans in order to not alienate them while also bringing in a new generation. We want to focus on fans of basketball and Seattle sports, but also would like to align ourselves with the inclusivity of the city and sustainability of the future that is driven by Climate Pledge Arena, which is the new home of the Sonics. Our final target would obviously be the global fans. The Sonics brand has taken off in popularity across the globe, so we want to spread our marketing efforts outside of the Pacific Northwest and increase presence not just in America, but globally. Our idea of this campaign is just to celebrate that the Sonics are coming back. Seattle kept the Sonics brand alive and played a crucial role in bringing them back, so we want this campaign to be somewhat of a coming home party. The Sonics' return should invoke this sense of nostalgia to the older fan base while also igniting a grungy excitement and passion into the newer fan that has yet to experience the supersonic atmosphere. The return to the sound is also a return of the community impact that comes with a professional sport team in town. The Sonics left just before Seattle started turning towards innovating for the future. So, since the Sonics will be in Climate Pledge Arena, their own home already is built with that sustainability in mind. This will have a focus where the Sonics organization will be present in the surrounding communities by creating initiatives, programs, and fundraisers through their community outreach that will help bring change, equality, and a much needed help by using their love of basketball as driving force. The return to the sound will bring the city and surrounding areas together through celebration, excitement, and a community-focused ideal that will create a positive and inclusive atmosphere that can foster not only great memories, but a strong fan loyalty. For the muscle breakdown, this is a magnetic campaign because it's built on emotion, and building off this emotion of the Sonics return, this is going to be a huge moment and a monumental celebration for this community and for the city of Seattle. We want to bring in big star athletes such as Gary Payton and Sean Kemp from the Sonics past in order to stir the emotion and history even more for that legacy generation of Sonics fans. This campaign is going to be extremely unique in nature because this is not your normal NBA expansion team. This is the return of a beloved and established franchise that has built and maintained a cult-like following for the last 2 decades. I want this campaign to be the rave of the city. The news is going to spread like wildfire through the social media community in the greater Seattle area and beyond. The return of the Sonics will also be the talk of the nation as the season draws nearer. The entire NBA, all the NBA fan bases are going to be looking in at Seattle. For this idea is extremely simple. The return of the sound is about the Sonics coming back, so let's welcome them home the way that they deserve. It's an easy to understand message and will travel well and have a ton of survivability. This campaign is also going to be executed on multiple fronts. We're going to put out and design posters and flyers to be put up along the streets. We also want to create social media accounts to start making graphics, edits, and videos to build up hype to bring the Sonics to the fans directly. We can also start with some community outreach by bringing in local artists to put up murals around downtown Seattle and hold events and fundraisers for the community around these murals to help celebrate the Sonics' return and while bringing the community together. This campaign is also going to align with the brand's long-term identity because it's what the Sonics want to be, which is rooted in Seattle spirit and best represent the PNW. This plan for community outreach and sustainability will not end once they come back and will be pivotal on keeping the fan base growing and authentic. This brand relaunch is just the start of what should be a return to grace of one of the long-lost franchises of basketball and should continue for years to come. The the essence of the Sonics will be captured by this campaign because it's going to feel different than the Sonics of the past, but because the Sonics have to evolve 20 years through this rebrand, this will capture this new tone and set the stage for a Sonics franchise that is still rooted in the Seattle culture, but is also looking ahead to what sport can do for the city to make it a better place. Implementation plan. This campaign will start or will begin during the 27-28 NBA season in order to generate a lot of buzz around the incoming expansion draft. We will start with a few social media posts and the main posters being put up around Seattle. As the draft gets closer, we're going to start rolling out our social media accounts through edits, graphics, and collaborative posts with big Seattle brands to help create hype and fan engagement. We even want to bring in some Seattle sports stars, such as Jackson Smith and Jigba, Cal Raleigh, Joey Decord, or even try and bring in a legend such as Sue Bird. These posts will bring in engagement from fans of other Seattle sport teams who are consumers of these big brands. We can then start to have Q&A videos to help introduce the front office to generate hype around the draft. After the draft, we want to move to feature the players that we bring to Seattle and build the social media platforms around their personalities as the return to the sound draws closer. This would all culminate with the home opener where the real celebration can ensue as the Seattle SuperSonics take the court once again. Measure our success through multiple metrics. We can look at our follower engagement through likes, follows, shares, and comments. We can track merchandise sales through the team store. We can also track season ticket sales as the off-season draws to a close. For the community outreach, we can track attendance and money raised for community initiatives as a metrics of how well our events are doing and how engaged our fans are with these events. When the season begins, we can track attendance and single game ticket sales. For every purchase with the Seattle SuperSonics, we can send out a survey to see what engagement tactic brought them to the Sonics. And with the survey, we can also track feedback given to adjust our strategies accordingly to make sure we're fulfilling our goals and staying consistent with what the Supersonic brand is. Overall, the Return to the Sound campaign will bring this Supersonic brand back into the Seattle limelight, but in a modern and innovative new way. The Sonics will have a familiar grunge feel to them as they return, but this will be a new franchise built on emotion, passion, and love for the community of Seattle. Their commitment to this city will reflect the fans' commitment of bringing them back. The city of Seattle deserves to have the Sonics back, and the Sonics will repay them by building a culture and brand built on community, equality, and grit. Now that the Sonics have made their return to the sound, it is time for the fans to bring their own. Thank you for listening. This was my presentation on a muscle marketing campaign of the Return to the Sound. And go Sonics!